Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus, and today we're going to be playing a bit of space exploration, but as I'm trying to make sure to do every stream, I'm just trying to make sure my mic's not in shot. I'm hopefully going to get a nice new mic fairly soon. We're starting to find out about pay. It's all got a bit complicated, but yes, so I'm trying to make sure that I make it clear what the most recent Friday fact is at the start of every live stream, because sometimes I end up blathering on about them and it's not clear where it is, especially if you're watching on catch up. So the most recent one was 415, which was this fix, improve, optimize, where we found out about the whole deterministic multi-threading, multiplayer auto pause, and fast construction robot task. But what seems to be of most interest is the binary numbers on the thumbnail image, which, what could they mean? Okay, so that done. Close that down, then we're going to switch to that one. We're going to make sure the sound is still working, and we're going to crack on. So I did get a chance to play a little bit during the week. Work has been kicking my ass this last week and a half or so, and will continue to do so until Wednesday. What I did, therefore, was something fairly grindy, which was kind of even up and sort of... Oh, bum. What are we missing? Oh, yeah. Whatchamacallit thingies. Substations. Yeah, there's some missing. I'd forgotten about that. But yes, basically, as you can see, sort of from the thing here, we have a fairly nice, even distribution of... is there something missing there as well? What's that? Oh! A random light. I wonder why that's not being filled in. I guess... Yeah, there wouldn't be anything to build it, would there? Interesting. And basically, I sort of went round, cleared it all out in terms of rubbish, basically, and built a load more. As you can see, we're getting tags coming in. They're not any kind of problem. And we have a lot of coverage. Do have gaps in the radar, which is unfortunate, but they're at a very regular interval, which gives us a nice... If we pop that, it's already on. If we see the artillery coverage is nice, you know, doesn't allow biters anywhere close to, you know, when they're nesting close to the thing. We do have this, which I've still not sorted out. I'm continuing to just sort of trickle in a bit of solar just so that we make sure we're properly covered. I'll probably end up putting a big square there, basically. So that's kind of all I really did. Nothing of massive interest. We still have, therefore, this problem that I discovered at the end of the last stream, where we do not have these in the make everything, which is annoying. We also do not yet have... I mean, it's not make everything. Make what I need is probably a better description. I still need to sort this one out. This is not really properly set up. It's kind of built, but the connection points are not really there. So there's that one. And then, say, we've then got the whole actual spaceship building. I suppose there's them as well. I've not added them in, have I? So we do need to add them in. Oh, we could do that first, I guess. I'm kind of still in a bit of two minds, really. This has ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And I am keen to get to the other planets, but as I say, I was hoping I'd get a chance to kind of do it during the week, but as I say, no real joy. Yeah, so what do I need to add in? I need radar. I'm wondering if radar should be in the general make everything anyway, because I'm going to need radar even if the planet has no bugs and I don't need any of this stuff. Just like these I need anyway. Well, not the walls, but the ammo. I did pop in... So there's a couple of coverage things here, look. So I'm wondering if maybe this is always here. These are all a bit uneven, aren't they? Do we tidying that up? Maybe they're always there, so that we've got the coverage for the, you know, the planet for meteorites. And then this is just an add-on if there happen to be biters here. I think that makes the most sense. Okay. But yes, I kind of need to decide, am I going to, because there's solid fuel as well and rocket fuel and all that sort of stuff, which I've sort of got here, haven't I? I guess the question is, how big is that other one going to be? Because I had initially thought about putting it all on the bottom, but there is some sense to having it on the side as well. Okay, let's see if we can fit these in. So what would this be? This would be plates and green circuits. Have we got somewhere nice? Well, we have here, haven't we? But then plates and green... Oh, that's perfect. So these could go in, because we've got a lot of space here anyway. How am I going to grab them? Maybe we do one of these jobs. So I could go there. Then we got your two circuit jobs. So they both want that. They both want that. And they can put a box there. So I could compress this a bit actually, couldn't I? It's not in the way at the moment, but... So that would then be the... whatever these are called. Chain signals. I should, AS, note that part of the work kicking my bum means that I'm very tired. So there may be a lot of struggling for names of things that are blatantly obvious. I mean, you don't need to be there, I don't think, do you? Drops coverage for them, but I could pop that in anywhere, basically. And it covers that. So I have to see about that one. And just because I'm thinking that maybe there might be something else here that's just... Yeah, because that's green circuits. And it's got steel and a stick. Now, steel is there. And there. So, we know we need a stick, which is iron plate. I mean, that would sort of work if it was there. So maybe some arrangement here. Because we've got pipes in the way now. I think I did actually do that in... Does it also need plate? It does. Okay. Oh, I could always take a branch off, couldn't I? That probably makes a little more sense. So, if this was sort of here, and there was some sort of branch coming this way, with the old iron plates, and if you're sticky sticks, then you can both grab like that. You can feed across. You can get circuits from there, steel from there. So this is that one. That's the plates, already got that. It's now got plates. Yeah, cool. So that's the right stuff. Where can we put a box in? I mean, that's better, isn't it? So if we then put a box there. So this then is stations. Cool. That's you covered with them. This is a bit more tricky. And then these, I don't see how we're fitting them in. Because they need all sorts of gubbins. Including engines and all sorts. Stone, stick, and steel. I mean, we could always move this wall over and, you know, fit it in somewhere else. But where is stone's coming in here? We've got sticks there already. Huh. How about some undergrounding arrangement? this works if it was like that. That work? So then we've got... So if you're doing rail, then you've got your stone, your steel, and you've got your sticks, and you can put something in a box there. I haven't got any lights on. Now this is the one exception I think we'll have a couple of few stacks. Cool. So squeeze them in. Now, so we're not making multi-cylinder because even if I get the... Because the multi-cylinders need steel, I think, don't they? Intermediates, yeah. Single and gear wheels. Crikey. So again, we could probably squeeze it in here somehow. Or maybe here? Green circuits there. I think we maybe fit the locos in there then. What do you need that's going to cause me problems? It's just gears, plates and steel. Okay. Okay. I don't need that radar then. There's no gears, are there? Okay. So I've got steel there. Well, if this was some kind of arrangement here, what room does that give us? Because what does he need? It is plates. Gears, plates and steel. Because we could branch that steel. Oh no, it's steel right there. Don't need to do it. So, if that was one down, probably don't need light gubbins either, or even that maybe. So then, machines, there we go. So if you're there, and then we have another one like that. Or even, because actually, because this then could underground here. So we will be able to get to, that's the gears, and that's the garages. Is this right, or am I going back? No, that's right. So, just this is where I was going to put the train in, wasn't it? Oh no, it can't have been, because I've got the green circuit. So yeah, so we're okay then. So, that's carriages. Then it gets steel like that. Gets gears like that. Gets... whatchamacallits like that. Whatchamacallits, very eloquent. Put you there maybe, like so. Power pole in the middle there. Right. So, carriages. Yep, okay. So that's them. Now this one. Gears as well. But pipes and blooming tanks. I must be making tanks somewhere, but I bet they're buried in the middle. I bet they're buried in the middle. Am I making tanks? Maybe I'm not. Can't see him. Okay. But tanks could easily be made here if we sort of fiddle around. And so it might be, if we're not making them here, which we appear not to be, probably worth having them anyway. Because we're bound to do an oil build or two. I can't see him. Let's use something like rate calculator to see. Can we see tanks listed on there anyway? Nope, not making them. Okay, so we probably need them anyway. Well, we do have this steel here. So, and it would be nice, I mean, given that these need circuits of green, it's probably best to try and fit the tanks over this side. How do we do that? So, let's assume that this is going to be them, because it needs steel itself. It then needs tanks, and it needs gears and pipes, which we should be able to do some sort of arrangement here. So if that was, say, one of them, and that's, oops, say there and there. Oops. And that. They can both grab then. There and there. So we've got gears. We've got pipes. You get steel from here. Now, how are you getting iron plate? You have to do it like that, my friend. That's good, because that gives us a place to put a chesticle as well. Boop. So this is doing tanks. Should also probably, as I say, put them in a tank as well. Put them in a chest. See, brain's just not working today. It's on holiday. Wish I was on holiday. Okay, so yeah, that's a tank. Chest there. Then we want tanks. Stack of. Cargo wagons. Stack of. So. That was a bit miraculous, wasn't it? That all fit in. So that's all of that gone. Which is good. Then got the challenge. We're getting the old locos in. Now, locos production of probably has to be here. Give or take. Multi-cylinder engines, eh? Green circuits. Because that gives us access to the green circuits. We would then need... It needs gears as well itself, doesn't it? So this could be the gears, maybe. Because that will be able to grab from there. We then need... multi-cylinder engines in such a way that we can insert them. So maybe... It's actually that. Then you can't grab. So if we just swap those over, that's okay. If that's gears, it can't grab anything, can it? Doesn't it have to go in there as well? It does. So, trouble is then it. I have to go grab our options actually, but I'd need a new power bar, which is fine. That's not a problem. Okay. So then if you're here, or here even, what does that look like? So if that's the multi-cylinder. So it's the gears, multi-cylinder. That needs steel, which we can just hop over because that needs steel as well anyway. Okay. Gears, single-cylinder engines. Let's just sort of rethink what's going on there. Later on. So if this was the cylinders, that also needs gears, which Even if that was one over. Well, there are gears there. Can I use that? Yes, I can. Do you need steel? You do. And you need steel. But you don't. Okay. So, now it gets gears. Oh. What's going on there? So then, grab iron plate from either of those. Put it there for the time being. So then if that's a long hand there, gears there, insert them. It also needs steel, and so does that one there. How can we get that across? Again, maybe what I do is I put this here, and then would that work? I think actually maybe that goes over one. Again, that's actually there. We're going to have the steel arrive here. We're fed in like that. I mean, that is double belt steel, but that's a bit odd, isn't it? Have I got any real choice? Not double belt, double-sided steel. Not ideal. Okay, let's do that then. Okay, so not connected that one up. That one now needs to be a long-handed. So this guy needs green circuits, which is getting from there. It needs gear wheels and steel. So steel from there, gear wheels from there. Multi-cylinder engines, which are gear wheels, steel, single-cylinder engines, which are gear wheels and iron plate, which it has. Crikey! So it sort of works-ish, kinda. Might even be able to put the... No. No, scratch that idea. Roboport then. Roboport. Here maybe? Yeah, cool. Lost the laser there. Cool. Well, managed to fit it in then. And it's now like a proper block square thing, which is kind of cute. So, next part then is the whole rockety... Well, let's actually do this part first, because I keep avoiding them. If we take... Oops. If we take... Oh, well, there was also radar. Small electric motors. I mean, we got them in there, you see. So I could do that. Oh no, wrong thing. So if that was there, and this was radars. Where are you? There you are. But then stone brick, green circuits. How very annoying of you. What else? Stone brick. What a really annoying recipe. Have I got... I mean, I got some of them there. And there. And, oh! And there. Any over here? Can't see any. Oh look, it's put some mileages in there. I don't know why it's done that. What's on that belt? Oh, it's probably just stone, is it? Yeah, that's just stone coming up there. What's going in there? That must be iron plate if it's feeding that one. This is green circuits coming up here and it just stops. Don't think I can fit a radar in there. What else does it need? Yeah, you see stone brick. Well, one of these is bound to be stone brick, isn't it? So there would be... that wasn't there, you see. I think that's glass rather than stone brick. So if I did something complicated... Oops. Maybe that could be like there. So this one then, if this was radar, that would give it stone brick. And obviously the electric motor's there. So we'll then be missing green circuits and iron plate. Wasn't this a mixed... Yeah, so there's iron plate there. No power for it, but that's not a problem. So, we're missing green circuits now. That one there is green circuits and it just stops. So if that was run up there, you get rid of the light, skip past there, underground that one. I think I might be able to skim it through. So I might be able to go bosh bosh. That's going to interfere with that. Insert a shenanigans. Okay. Okay. Can't really see much of a way around that. Could do... I mean, that could be there. But then it's still... Where could I move either of that? I can't even move either of those. I could do that. Could I? Yeah, because that could be that one. And then that misses it. Perfect. Parfait. And then that's underneath. We can... green circuits. Awesome. It's fun doing this sort of spaghetti stuff. I've probably mixed, you know, there'll be some where it's completely the wrong ingredient and all sorts of stuff like that, but that's irrelevant. So we have stone brick there. Required for that one, and steel Oh no, concrete. Wow. Huh. Did nothing here require concrete then? It does. Huh. What requires concrete? There's no concrete coming in here. There's something in this corner. Oh, it's you, is it? I bet, yeah. So is there nothing here that's... So what's coming up there then? So that's steel, isn't it? I'm gonna, like, put some on the... I can't really do that because it'll just eat it, won't it? As I say, I was going to put something on the belt and see where it came through, but that didn't work. So... You're getting an input from that one, which we've told to be red circuit, so that must be what that is. This one here is what? I think this is steel, isn't it? Yeah, so that's steel. What's this one then? Half a belt there. Oh, that's meant to be concrete. Okay. Am I making concrete then? I didn't think I was. So, on that side, it's meant to be concrete. Oh, I am making concrete. Okay. Okay. And it's going... Oh, excuse me. It's going that way. Can I sort of reverse feed it then, maybe? Send it back this way? Because then I'd be able to make... Because the other option is just to go with brick, you know, stone walls, basically. And not do anything with concrete, but the stone walls are a bit rubbish. Well, I'm making concrete. Excuse me. So if this was like no. I mean, because we could just do the same arrangement. It's not a problem. Batteries, okay. Green circuits and steel. I wonder if... So what are you? You're coal, crikey. Coal, blimey. Oh, we got coal coming in there. But I'm only sending it up to make plastic, aren't I? Okay, so I could divert some across there. But then what did this need? It was steel, wasn't it? Steel batteries, okay. Because this is making batteries somewhere here. Because yeah, it needs them for robot frames. Okay. Let's take that out of the equation for the time being. Because we are saying we're getting petroleum up here. And iron plate and water. In fact, we've got... Oh, we've got batteries there. Okay. Huh. Excellent. How do we get them out? How do we get them out? I could do something in there like that. And then move this over. Okay, so if I move this whole thing so that it's perhaps Oops. How much? 1, 2. Bosh. It don't really have to be. For the time being. Doo-be-doo-be-doo. Yes, so if that's got then batteries, and why did I put that down there? Put it there. Okay. Steel and coal. So if this is just batteries, green circuits and steel, then we've kind of got everything, haven't we? Because we've got access to green circuits there. Access to steel somehow there. Maybe we do that. Oops, so that gives it steel. We then have green circuits. Oops. Like that. So this is these guys, I think. Yeah. Cool. That's you done. And then you're steel and coal. And so we can put that kind of here as well. So if this is these. Need the boxes, don't they? Boxes, boxes. Boxes. Nah, stack it actually. Oh, it's the wrong recipe. That one. So that's a stack of them. So then we would have coal, which would actually be more like that, wouldn't it? Because we got a. I think that's where that's coming in. So this is the edge of the wall here. Okay, fine. Be like that then. Yes, and so this needs to be coal. Coal. Obviously it needs a concertor. Didn't give it. Oh yes, I did give it still. Okay. Right, so. So ideally, maybe coal coming across here. Oops. Because we know it's got a radar. That's what it's got. Could do it across there. Yeah, that'd work. Because I'm doing an immediate hop over. Immediate turn, basically. like that. Or something to that effect. So we need to connect this to coal, which is here. So we need to go across like that. And then correct. Bit messy, but you know. It is what it is. Okay, so that gives you coal. You would also need green circuits and things like that. Maybe we start hooking this up, so I can maybe think about them a bit later. That's just there for temporary reasons. So we want to put this like this. They're all like, we just picked that up. You moved it again. We just picked that up and moved it. So I don't need red circuits. But we do need green. Ah! Okay. It's based on a different assumption. Because the assumption here was that I would be making glass. I'm not making glass. Okay. So. Oh, excuse me. So. Do it like that, or do that. It's just I'm conscious we've got. I don't think the side matters on that, does it? No. Just that that needs glass. In the end, I mean, it doesn't actually need glass there, does it? It could have glass there. Or, you know, there even. Depending on how I fit all that around. But, yes, glass doesn't necessarily need to be coming in. Could just be good old-fashioned green circuits on its Todd. But we do need some glassy arse. Which is one of these bad boys. Yeah, stone furnace and a thing. Which doesn't necessarily work badly because so if that was the furnace there, because we need to bring that stone up anyway for doing stone brick. Question then is whether we'd also do concrete. Looks like this needs punting a tile over anyway. So if the stone, oh yeah, that doesn't work, does it? Because that's got to be there or something like that. So this is the stone coming up. Feeding in there. So you would make that, and you need stone. Okay. Yeah, I need to move this up. Or over rather. Okay, never mind. So concrete we'll have to think about, but that needs stone brick, you see. And we then got another one here that could just make the stone brick. I don't know why I left a gap. I left a gap. I guess. Right. Like that, you see. And then an assembler here. So, maybe there. Can make stone wall. And then I guess in order to do concrete I would need sand as well. As well as stone brick again. Sand, stone brick, and therefore feels like maybe that should be up there. Or I don't know, can I put But if this was the one making them... Oh no, I was going to... Oh, that's a point. Because this is only concrete walls, it's not steel walls. The flashing is driving me mad. There's more flashing. So, if we did steel walls... Because this is steel, isn't it? That is steel there. That hopped over, grabbed like that. We could make steel walls. But then I would need to feed, because that only needs brick. We know we're moving this over anyway, so if that was then... That needs concrete then. Any of these iron plate? Oh, iron plate is over there. Could loop it around. I just guess... so if I move that just that way. Because that one then is making stone brick, right? And then we have one in here. How is it getting the sticks then? How's it getting your sticks? So if this was concrete... Oh, it needs water as well. Crikey. There's water all the way over there, so we could botch that around. Comes in there. But basically then that's got that one and that one. It's just missing iron sticks. Which the sort of ideal thing would be if that was in there somehow. Oh, I thought that was iron plate then. It's not iron plate. So we did a split there, right? Let that across. Maybe move it up one. Two. And that would give that iron plate for sticks. But we've no way of getting the... Well, no, we haven't. How would we get that in there? Would I instead be able... If I did that... Prevents it from polluting that. That then is there. So that gets it iron stick. Sticky stick. Might even be able to fiddle that around somehow. No. There's no way that's going around there. So that would get you steel. Because that's the... Oops. Because if this is the stone concrete wall, then that gets it concrete. I don't know why this is still here, but if that was there then, no. Is it, oh, well. Because I don't necessarily need that. Let's do that. And then you get... Just like that. Cool. No. Seems to work. Ah, I have rendered this powerless. That's going to get quite messy. I wonder if... Maybe that goes there. That... Oops. Cool, so it's all connected and powered. This obviously needs to be stone. Oops. Pop a few more lights in. Posh, that there. You've got one. Okay, so we've made steel walls, miraculously. Bit uneven in the old setup, isn't it? But that's fine. He says, thinking how he could retweak it. I mean, this could go sort of here, could it? And then that's a long handy boy. Don't think I can do much about that one. Sort of poking out the top. Says this could be here. That could be there. I'll move that over. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, well. Don't help much, but it's fine. And you're out of power now. Perfect. Perfect. In fact, leave it there. Don't have any laser turrets particularly on this, does it? So we'll get a few of those in. I mean, that's not necessarily going to be there, is it? Yeah, do. Okay, so we then have these monstrosities. How do I need to set that up? So I'm thinking that because these need to be requesters is the point. Is everything covered by? It is. So these need to be requesters, which manufacturer here. This is the only botty bit, as it were. I don't know why I poked that out the bottom. Start. Okay. Then we know this is moving over, don't we? So... Oh, that's going to be painful move. How about I put that there? Yeah, no, that there. That there. So, because I've got a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So, not only do I need to move it over, I need to move it over. Okay, marvellous. Crikey. So, all of this needs to move one tile to get the thing on, and then everything, all of it, everything. Not the bottom bit, but that bit. Then needs to move 1, 2. Because that then goes 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Dear me, this is going to take a little while for them to sort out. Deary, deary me. Okay, right. Do we want to think about the rest of it while the bots do all that, and we can make sure... So no, nothing has gone wrong as such. So we built all of these now, added all of them in. That's great. This is what we want to make. We probably still need some stuff from there. Certainly need fuel. What it would be useful to know... I'm a little loath to use prod modules. Because I haven't got anything building prod modules. So if a machine gets hit, basically, don't really have any way of... destroyed. Don't really have ways of replacing the actual modules in it. But if this is making rocket fuel, then, because this is a fuel refinery, isn't it? Yeah. Point is that makes rocket fuel. So what's the maths on that? It's a perfect balance. Okay. I didn't realise that. Yeah, okay. And how quickly would that produce? So it would make 50 per second. Right. Now, if we want to go a sort of an orbit type journey, then this should be set. So it's going from, or it's set to do now this orbit landing pad from Nalvis. So if we assume that that's the type of journey, because what I'm thinking is that I end up, I'll do potentially rockets from the surface into the orbit, and then from the orbit to the orbit, and that's 50,000. Okay. Okay, so 50,000. Because this is what's really spurred this. Because when I was on whichever it wasn't RAN, was it? But that's what I've got in my head. I had to sit there basically for ages, waiting for it to make rocket fuel and parts and that. And the idea with this is you turn up, and you got to plumb in, fuel obviously, oil obviously, but you're then just making the stuff. You're not. And while you build whatever infrastructure you need, it just chugs away making fuel. But if it's making 50,000 don't have a calculator on this mod, do I? You know, a separate calculator. No. Let's have a look, see. So if we had the need to make 50,000, and it makes 50 a second, then that would be 1,000 seconds. And 1,000 seconds is 16 minutes, 15 minutes or so. That's not actually too bad. Certainly be enough time to do it, but if we say... In fact, it's not too bad at all, is it? I think just one of these will work though. Okay, so next question then is... rocket fuel. We need to crack oil, obviously. So if we maths that, so if we're doing the light oil recipe maybe? It's just because I am producing sort of spare... Oh, they're not doing too bad. Like spare stuff over here. But not a lot. It's literally like a trickle. Do I have a feed through on oil? Or is it stopping? No, so it is the oil that's going through. Okay. So if we give it slightly more capacity, then we should be okay. But the point is, if this needs to run and make its 1 a second or whatever, then it needs 10 solid fuel. Okay, per second. Now we're going to have solid fuel coming out of petroleum gas, but not light oil. Well, yes, and light oil. And that needs a fuel one, doesn't it? I keep forgetting that. And light oil. Okay, so if this was somehow fed with its maximum rate, because this is, I think, is where it falls down. You need a lot of oil rather than a lot of, you know, reduction of the fuel. But that would produce 1 cube out of 40. And this needs 10 cubes. Okay. And that's not producing 40. That's producing 6. So it's literally a trickle of those. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 40 odd. So 7. So 7th of that. So 1 every 7. Oh, well, that's 2, isn't it? So 2 every 7 seconds, or 1 every 3.5 seconds. So almost nothing to notice really. But it's making 14. A single one is, but it only requires 20 oil, doesn't it? So this could make 2 out of 20. So it's not even 1, is it? This is why you stick prod modules in oil, you see. Have I done maths wrong there? I have done maths wrong, so that's not 50. So if that then was... So that's now making 70. I mean, we're getting up to 30 of that, so it's not quite enough. It's not far off. Okay, but then 70 light oil, and that's consuming 20, so 20, 40, 60 and a half. Although we need some left over, don't we, for actual... How much does this require? 10. That would work then, wouldn't it? Because that's consuming 60. This is producing 70, so there's 10 left over. We'll then get a little bonus from the heavy oil. Okay. So if we cracked heavy... Because the other option is I just turn the heavy into... No, did it again. Into more cubes. And what's your productivity? So you're then making... You would require 40. You would get 8. So it's a quarter of that. So it's like a quarter of 1. So I guess between them, these are making, 2. And these are making 6. So that's only 8, you see. And it needs 10. So it's not going to run at rate. But it's close. It's like 3/4 or something worst case. And 3/4 worst case. And he says 3/4 worst case. Which is, I'm just trying to do the maths in the other way. So in other words, 16 becomes 20 minutes. So it takes 20 minutes to get a rocket load of fuel. Okay. And that's from 100 oils, which is quite a lot of oils. This patch here, which has been being used up, but it's only producing 80. What about a new patch? Let's have a look at a new patch. So something like this. Oh, it doesn't have machines on it, so it's not going to tell me. But this has probably not been... Oh, some of them I've missed off some of the actual oil patches there. But that one there. There's one there. That's annoying. But yeah, so that's only 75. What about that one? 69. Nice. 60. 46. So I mean, 100 is quite a lot of oil for anything except a big patch. So it wouldn't even run then. So they're then talking half an hour to make a rocket's worth of fuel. But I'm relatively happy with that math. Let's see, we will get a little bit more because of the other process running. Oh, we're done. Oh, no, we're not done. Nowhere near done. But maybe lacking roboports. So, I can do. Start fiddling about this. Maybe there's a connection there. Connection. Oops, there, say. Oh, it's only one on the... Okay, no, got that wrong. No. Oh, I didn't hook any of these up, did I? So, this is the water. Which needs to go to there. Okay, and then this is the... Oh, no, that's the oil. Ah, okay. I've assumed petroleum would be coming in. Right. So... we just sort that somehow. Okay. That won't work if I do that. Iron plate coming up there. So, got the green circuits, got the coal. The stone needs connecting. Where is stone coming in? 2 stones. Okay. cares about something mad like that? And lures. Where the heck are you lot going? Oh, I guess down there. Is there a Roboport? Yeah, not very good. Okay. Right. Yes, marvellous. Okay. Now, so ideally we want lasers. There we go. Lasers. Lasers. So move both of these in. Another one. Cool. And then they also need... Oh, it's a 3x3 machine, isn't it? So I don't need to... Quite so fussy. Cool. That. Then that. Go there. Go there. Cool. And then this requests in stack of them. Stack of them. Don't know. Let's squeeze. No. Okay. Right. And 1, 2, 3. Right. Boop. Okay. Okay. KKK. KKK. Nice. Okay, so issue there. Petroleum. Different set of assumptions, you see. Different set of assumptions. How are we doing on the bots over here? Oh, there we go. We can stick some more. As usual, having given the bots lots of jobs to do, I'm now going to give them a bit more. Nice. Okay, bit of power there then. Could even pop in some more nuclear, I guess. Just because. Need to set up a new nuclear patch actually. Okay. How are we doing? Have we got any further here? Oh yeah, it nearly seemed to be there. About, yeah, just finishing off the bits of walls. Nice. Missing the odd bot to do and replace, but not far off. Cool. This isn't particular modular, is it? Is the only thing. So, given we need this to defend on every planet, kind of have to build that anyway. Oh well. Right. So we know the maths. And we need to remember that we need to take this the other way, basically. So maybe we do that from here. You know, somehow there, maybe. Tempted to bring it along the bottom, just to keep it properly out of the way. Yeah. You put these like lights in and stuff, and you know, great. And turns out you got to move it anyway. So I guess I should really have that kind of arrangement, so I know what's meant to be coming, but it's going the other way, isn't it? So actually it should be on that side. And then similarly, that should really be here. No, because that is coming that way. It's just that it's coming from this side, not going past, as it were. So then I can move the power pole again. Move the light again, rather. Okay. So that's a petroleum. Yeah, I think I'll ignore the fact that it's a bit messy, but okay. Now, if we connect up, I've completely ignored that whole 3-tile thing all over the place, haven't I? Oh well. Maybe I'll just move. I will just move this up, sort of. By the one. Gives a bit of room anyway. Well, I guess actually, as we on that side is fine. Okay. But we've also got. Yep. Your black gold. Little E-Bob. Put that there. It's still in the way. What was that? Oh, just in meteorites. Okay. Right. The question is basically, am I going to do like fuel and then, you know, because we need to make a load of other stuff as well. This is not, we're nowhere near done. Walk through there. Don't actually have any doors on this at all, do I? Because this is actually going to be quite big, isn't it? Because what I'm kind of assuming, to be honest with you, is that the cargo rocket is part of this. And then it's just the one cargo rocket. And I can set it up to do, you know, more if I really need it, or what have you. Or to use the gun turrets, which is probably more sensible, and then the rocket is just for me to move around. Because that's the biggest problem at the moment, is me moving around, really. you know, I'm happy that I can use the guns to move the raw bits and then make everything on the platform. But I need to go to these places to do the things. So if we were to think, and I say, I'm just sort of assuming, because this is probably going to take up quite a lot of room, that this does the fuel maybe, and then the actual rocket is like there maybe? Because we need the old landing pad as well. Let's say so that I can move about. So this is the weirdest part of this, that what we're really doing is moving me about. It's a bit conceptually odd for some reason. Okay, so if we said the landing pad was, you know, sort of here-ish, and then this thing was, I don't know, here-ish, because we need something to be able to like empty landing pads. And quite big. Maybe that's a bit too big. But then need to be able to request in. This will also get, it will, won't it? It will get whatchamacallit? So brain's just not working. I've got to yawn again. Oh dear. What do you call them? The actual bits of spacecraft. Cut rocket sections, is it? I can't remember what it calls them. Can't remember where they are. There they are. So, cargo rocket sections, you see. So any rocket that lands on the pad will actually leave a load of these, I think. So a few sort of stack filters, which I'm not making anywhere, am I? Am I? I mean, is that going to be a problem? I don't have any filter inserters at all. I guess for this one, it would just put in the right thing. So maybe the point is that actually we've done everything in there. And then this is just, you know, here. And it's not going to... Well, it would, though. You see, is the problem. It would try and put things into the inventory. Because you get scrap and stuff as well. Do I care about that? Actually, that does need to be a bit up, maybe. So we're going to have belts coming in. From there. Whether that's a compressed one or not, I don't know. I assume there are fluid inputs not just on the bottom, that there are equivalents on the top. I don't know. But yeah, so... look like that connected, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a connecting thing. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, there are some lasers on there. Actually, one too far over. Marvellous. That. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that then gives me the option of having actual requesters here. To pull the stuff in that we, want. And we can have a... Oops. Roboport 2 over here. Why are you not Why are you not got power? That's too far away. Okay. Yeah, so it might be parts, it might not be, it needs to have logic on it and what have you, but yeah. Might be compressed, might not be, blah 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 blah. Okay. So anything that comes in via the landing pad will essentially get recycled in there. It might try and put it into the inventory, which is probably just a cost of what we're doing. And we can have it just drop it off wherever, because it's not, I'm not anticipating like millions of things coming in here, but I guess you never know. Okay. So, I guess 1, 2, 3, like that. Oops. Right, so can we fit the oil stuff into this space? Almost certainly. What do we need? All of these. Okay. Right. Might be tighter than I thought. If I plop them like there. Because I guess I could have the... What does underground look like? So if that was... Yeah, that'd be perfect. So that's your liquid fuel. And then your actual... I guess maybe I should stick in a chest as well. So this is your rocket fuel. Because we've got to fuel trains and stuff potentially. But yeah. So this is... rocket fuel. Which stacks to 10, I think, doesn't it? Yeah, so if we said 500 was that... No. Excuse me. It's 1 to 1, isn't it? So if we do something like that. Just in case. Okay, so that's those two parts. We then need a production chain of... Oops, sorry. Solid fuel. So this sort of set is down here somewhere. Because this is like bonus stuff coming in, basically. So we kind of feed this in, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Okay. Now, we want to convert that into solid. Because we obviously need to feed this some light oil. It would be nice if that lined up, I guess, wouldn't it? And then I can just sort of push it over. So remove all that one. Oops. That one can be the short one. Okay. The solid is just a conversion, you know, and the petroleum is just a conversion of one, basically. So I guess they could go kind of on the end almost. So, oops, no. If that was a, maybe that one should be the 3, and that one's the 2. Put the 2 one here. So in other words, that then, well, it wouldn't matter, would it? Like that. If this is the petroleum one, we can hook. So it doesn't really matter, but like that. This is, oh, that is a bit annoying actually. Better if that was the petroleum one. Okay. So in other words, that. Yeah. You're gonna have a moan, aren't you? You're gonna have a moan. I don't blame you in this case. Okay. Oops. So that's the petroleum one, and then heavy. Heavy man. Is there? That's those ones. We've then got the whole light oil situation. So that's coming across. Because we need 3 of those. So we need 3 fuel ones converting light into, whatchamacallit. I'm thinking maybe... put them in there. And then if this is doing light conversion, and then, oops, and then you've got the solid coming there. Oops, and there's my outputs. I think we want to balance this just to make sure it sort of flows properly. And then we need... Oh, look at that, it's one ever so slightly off, isn't it? Can I tweak that somehow? Because wasn't this at maximum? Oh no, there's one more tile. Okay. So if we take all of this... Move it one tile over. Always one tile over. You're connected, you're connected, you're connected. Okay. And we do some powery bits while we wait. That's too far apparently. Okay. Like that. And then we can move that out of the way a bit. That connection's going to be a bit annoying actually, isn't it? I can just go something janky like that. I'll put a couple of, in fact, let's do that. Power there. We could have a special roboport. Yep, make sure we've got nice coverage. We've got lights, we've got power. In fact, let's put that one there. There. And there. And then we need power, but I've also forgotten put the oil in. So that's in the wrong place, I bet. The old, yeah, that's going to be in the way. Which is which? This must be the oil. Convolator thingy. Oil. So oil in that one. And then we get water in this one. I suppose that will just reach, will it? Well, okay. Would that one just reach? Yeah, it would. So this is Water. Water, lad. Water. Yeah, that'll do. I don't need reminders and everything. I'm not that stupid. Maybe. Okay. Like so. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Bosh, bosh. Copying and pasting. Excellent. These don't have any power, which is mysterious. Why not? Oh, because this is connected to all the wrong things. Okay. Ah, no power on that. So if we just move them over. Call EO. Move that one up to make it a bit more Lights. Nice. That's connected all the way down. That's good. That's the petroleum. That's connected. Light oil is connected. Okay. So in the slightly fanciful idea that maybe we're able to give it 100 oil, you can kind of cope with it. I don't suppose. Move that one over. Ah, I've not connected the light all there. Okay. Boop and boop. Let's put a purple there. Purple there. Purple there. Oh, he's back, the guy with the really loud car. How impressive he is. Right. Okay. That was simpler than I thought it was going to be, actually. We have got a lot of space. Oh yeah, I should put another row I put in, because it could be quite a high traffic area if, you know, things happen. Right. So this is done. Awesome. Awesome. Bit we need to do now then is, in fact, we can probably get rid of this as well. In the massively presumptive assumption that we've done that properly and that it works. Yes, now this whole thing, because this is just bonkers making these. This is just bonkers. Oh, that needs solid fuel as well. Okay. And glass and heat shields and... These are mad. I don't, you know... well, yeah. I don't think they need concrete anywhere. That's a good thing. No, you don't need concrete. I assume whether they're bought in or what have you. We don't need, you know, we need literally a couple of them, but they take 100 solid fuel. 100. And just the actual thing itself, not even to fuel it up to do anything. I don't think anything needed lube here, did it? I've just sorted that with other things. Yeah. But do they need well, they need batteries for the blooming accumulators. It feels like it. See, I've been thinking this for a while, that it feels a bit unbalanced in that you're sort of making things that at scales and stuff that you think would be end game, but I'm literally just on production science and you know, utility science basically. That's where I am in terms of vanilla. I mostly had to make a mega base in order to kind of to make it work, and it's just not. It's just sort of off the charts, really. So I think everything else here, well, I guess we could say, depends on if I'm happy leeching off. I mean, I am, because, you know, it's not, how to phrase it. This isn't designed, you know, the red circuit, so it's not actually designed in order to satisfy this. Yeah, it's just to produce some, and I think it was 10% or something of what it needs, so that it will trickle build a bit of stuff, really to prevent any issues. Like I can do later building, effectively, remotely, or the bots will have the materials to replace things, or, you know, what have you. That's the idea of it. And I can leave some things behind, like spare ones. Oh, there's no lights on that, is there? Spare ones are these, in case somehow they get walloped by a, you know, meteorite and what have you. Which is because that's why these are here, to like protect it. But I'm also kind of aware that this is a lot of power demand. This. So I am happy leeching off, in other words, to make these. Because it's only, is it just that one or both of those need red circuits? Yeah, that's fine. You know, those will need green circuits and stuff, and that's fine. That they come in that way. We'll have to make heat shields and stuff, which means, and we'll probably need to make our own batteries, which means, you know, sulfur anyway. That's, yeah, okay. Annoying, but what have you. So let's have a look at those. Would need batteries and iron plate. That would need green circuits, glass, which is something we have been deciding we've been making locally. So that was a change from the initial plan. So we need to know that we need to make sand, because we're going to have stone coming in, so that's fine. Green circuits will leach, steel will leach, copper, yeah, that's all leachable. Small electric circuits we would have to build. And they would require yes. There's also pipes for that, aren't there? But we need pipes anyway, I think. For one of these guys. Now, where do we get to? So, iron chest I think I've got here already, haven't I? Yeah, iron chest. Inserter. I think I order in inserters, because we got a whole infrastructure to make inserters. So, you know. I think that's probably where oh, wrong one. So it would be that one. I would be ordering in inserters. Red circuits with each. Storage tanks, as I say, I think is another one that we've just made. Assuming I put it in a chest, which is where we discover that actually no, I didn't put it in a chest. Did I? Yes, I did. So they'll just bring some of those over. Okay. It needs pipes, pumps, you see. Pumps are there. Oh, note. It needs pipes. But then these need low-density structures. We need heat shields, which are them, which require stone tablets and sulfur. Obviously, we know we need those two. Get rid of those because that's not separate. Making those batteries. I sort of mixed all this up, didn't I? But we need the solid fuel. Glass, which we know we've got there, so jerry rig that around. So the solid fuel might be one that we're ordering in. Might be just easy enough to belt it over. That's the point. This needs to be stuck into the cargo rocket, doesn't it? So actually this is like another one here, probably? That is the cargo rocket. But it needs load industry structure and RCUs. So I say solid fuel may be coming in. It's going to fill these chests up, isn't it? I forgot about that. Anyway, not fill up, but you know, actually bring the stuff over. So that then, that's where we need plastic. Okay, so we do need plastic. Okay. Okay, and that's all just leaching, or we've decided to make it. So this is kind of what it needs to look like. Okay. Oh, we actually need to make the... What's the point? So the actual cargo sections. Is that one of the things? Yeah. Oh, yeah, so it is there. Okay. Such a complicated recipe. But it's them that needs... So both of those need RCUs and things, don't they? So I'm now starting to wonder if mayhaps that's just not there. And then we can have one machine here. And in fact, maybe that one. Well, could do it both of them, I guess, but you know, they're both putting it into a chest. Can't remember where they live. It's here, isn't it? There you go. And those are logic controlled ones. There we go. I know there's a packing thing, but it's like I say, this is trickle building. Trickle building. And then let's say these need some kind of logic on them. I can't remember how have I set it up over here. With complication. What signal is that? So if that's less than 100, okay, that's fine then. Oh, does it not need a cargo rocket? 457 of 500. Oh, look. It's done some weirdness. Okay. That seems odd. I guess because the militaries, I'm not only sending half of that. It'll be to do with stack size and stuff like that. But do I not need a... Oh, I do. It's just I got a million billion of them, look. Because we need to switch this over to bots. Wow, look at all of it. And in fact, is that still going back and forth? It is. Why is it going back and forth? What are you... What's your logic on you? Because you're full. So what is your logic? Why is that not... Oh, I guess because I wanted to put this somewhere else. Okay. Maybe we'll set that empty for now. Just so it's not bibbling back and forth. Because ideally it would be going somewhere else and dropping, you know, the cargo rockets I need on Nauvis, which we've got to do that as well. This is not a small mod, is it? Bit concerned that where I put that, I don't actually have the room to put the builds in. I mean, we could put them next to it or something. Because we basically need to build... I say the rocket control units. I say we're literally just talking maybe one. I mean, it's not going to produce these at all quickly. I suppose those are balanced, are they? In this? No. So does it need to be balanced? I mean, does this need same numbers of both? So that's balanced. Yeah, it's balanced. So really we should be making the same number. Otherwise it will get all wonky. And it's the RCUs which are slower. Death to RCUs. By a third. Yeah, so that would get the same amount. And then they're basically needed by both of them. Like so. And then that one needs those ones. Oh, they both need heat shields as well. Okay. So... because you need a whole load of stuff. But you only need 3 in the heat shield. Okay. No, 2 in the heat shields. So I think maybe these should be the other way around. So if we flip it. Then what? You could have the heat shields maybe coming that way. Because that only gets you 3 of your ingredients. Got those two, and solid fuel. Solid fuel is just there. Could do something. Oh no, I need to power them, don't I? I was going to think underground, hopping it over maybe, but so I need to power them. But we could do it this way. Yeah, so it comes up like this. Maybe it's just an extra thing on a belt, maybe? Oops. And then... so this is solid fuel, rocket fuel coming this way. And then it just sort of loads on there. So now you've got those two. You've got that. You still need glass and heat shields. So, could maybe somehow load glass on there. What side of the belt would that be on? That would be on that side there. Down the right there. No, so that's the wrong side then. So if that was like more like that, we need to put glass on there somehow. I mean, we need. Do we need glass for any of them? I don't think we do we? Does one of these use glass? Oh, in fact, they both use glass, but that's fine. We could just have the glass sort of continue up there. Okay. Starting to formulate a plan. What else do you need? You need 4 ingredients though, and you do as well. So inconvenient of you. Okay. Yeah, so if I try and get glass on here. Got solid rocket fuel coming down already. This needs to be heat shields. We'll put that there as a bit of a reminder. But these need... Oh no, they don't need heat shields. One of these does? No, okay. That's no problem then. You would then have those two. You'd need them. So maybe they're coming up that way. Or we can do it there, or something like that. Now we need to produce those, which are separate ingredients, that's fine. Okay. So we can get... What did you want? I see it. Oh, the pod things. Okay. Let's put that there. So if this was both of... Where do they live? There we go. These two being brought round somehow. We can build them anywhere and just stick them on a belt. This would then be missing the accumulators and the whatchamacallits. Those two. But we could have them, you know, coming across somehow maybe. In or something like that. One of those. One of those. So that needs glass as well. Okay. Oh, hello, Senna. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Sorry if you said that a while ago. I've got wrapped up in the game again. Hope you're having a good day. 0.0375. I don't know what my numbers are. I've got to both of them. 0.0375 of basically everything. 1.56, okay. And obviously leeching, so not actually going to work properly, but whatever. There is plastic in here as well, isn't there? Was there excess plastic at all? Yes, there was. Ah. Ah. Could we move plastic over there? We could, and that then saves me having to make more of it. Interesting. What idiot put a wall here? Okay. One by one. So we still need batteries and stuff. Okay. It's all come in there. Just, would it work? Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? I could move this down, you see, and add in an extra one. In fact, I can move that down anyway, I think. So I've got this big gap here. So I could leave these here and kind of squidge it down. So if this was... what bit can I move? If I move... because what do I actually want to move down? Yeah, I could move it up, in fact. It's breaking my brain. I'd be surprised if the spoilage mechanic is not the other controversial one mentioned by a dev coverage. Yes, so I think he confirmed that. I had not seen it. I mean, apparently someone said... that's what someone said on the thing, that was indeed the even more controversial mechanic that he'd said about. So if I was to push it one up, would that work? Not really. Need to go sort of two up. Maybe if I do it by... if I move this as far down as I can. Yes, so that was the controversial mechanic that he was talking about. And I think he's right in saying it was controversial, because there has been a lot... it's interesting, the Discord, from what I can tell, you know, the people that use that kind of seem like... I don't know about happy with it, but interested in it and, you know, wanting to give it a go and all that sort of stuff. Whereas on Reddit... why have I put that there? Apart from idiocy. On Reddit, people seem to be a lot more kind of... if hostile is quite the right word, but, you know, not at all keen. Seems to be the reaction on Reddit, whereas say the Discord seems to be a much more, you know, so it's probably an exaggeration to say interested, but or, you know, happy, as it were, but certainly not negative on it in quite the way. This thing doesn't line up, does it? What's that connected to? I have to move that over. That's fine. Where do you need to go then? You need to be connected to that one. And then you need to be connected to that one. I think I've mixed those up a bit in a different way. I said, I don't know if I came across a bit too sort of negative in a sense on my video. I wasn't... it's not the sort of you know, mechanic introduction where I'm like, oh yeah, that, you know, that sounds really exciting. I'm really keen for it, because as I said, I'm not biggest player of like survival games, and it is a sort of a survival game type mechanic. But equally, I'm not instantaneously, oh, I hate that, that's the worst thing in the world. Just put one in there, maybe. So I hope I've not broken any connections there. Well, that's all fine. But yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing the divide, as it were, between the two bits of the community. I think the forums in particular, I don't use the Factorio forums, even though I always say forums are my preferred thing, but I had a weird incident when I joined the forum, they actually... Well, how to explain it? So, they went to a thing called WASD. No, they didn't. They went to RESD when there was RESD, which is basically a gaming convention. Where you go along and you play demos essentially of games. Because this needs to be their heat shields. Yeah, you play game demos, and it's like opportunity. Like E3 or something like that. It's that super big version of it. RESD is very much focused on indie games and that sort of thing. And they actually went to RESD, but slightly before that, they posted on, I think it was on the Friday Facts, about wanting to do promotion basically for the game when it came out. It released 1.0. And I basically popped on and said, I'd had the forum account for ages, but never really used it. And I popped on and went, you should go to RESD. And partly that was because that was really close after the previous RESD, the previous convention. And I was like, oh well, if they're looking for places to go, I've just been to this. RESD is defunct now, but it was really good fun. I used to really enjoy going to that. And so I suggested it. I got banned because they said the mod was basically like, oh, you're promoting it. You're promoting this event. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess technically, but only in the way that it's not. I didn't work for RESD, and that was what they were implying, that I was basically shilling for it. I was basically going there going, oh, you should go to this thing, and it's somewhere you got to go, as if I worked for it, as I was promoting it in that sense. But I didn't. But what it was, the mod had basically looked at for some reason, taken umbrage at the suggestion, and looked at my Twitter. And I don't really do it anymore, but when I used to do these things, I would tweet what games I'd played. And say what I thought of them, basically. And of course, because it was shortly after that event, I'd recently done that, so it made it look like I was some person who was part of working for RESD, and was therefore promoting this thing that I work for, I think. But basically, I got banned from the forum, and I put in it was literally, and the other problem, of course, it was like my first post basically. So it looked like I'd maybe created the account, even though the account was a lot older, but created the account to do it. So ideally we want the stone tablets, don't we? Probably directly feeding in, maybe? Yeah, so I think they probably just thought, oh, this is a person shilling for RESD. And it was absolutely nothing of the sort. And so ever since that, and I appealed, and whatever, well, like an admin, I think, maybe even one of the devs had said, no, you're clearly just a random person. You're not promoting an event you work for. And that the mods could be a bit trigger happy, So if that's making 0.075, how much would these actually need? 1.35. So given that pumps out so many, maybe we try and do 2. I don't know why I'm bothering squishing it in. I'm thinking maybe I just do the numbers for now. Anyway, yeah, the point was that, so I got banned from the forum, and it kind of left a sour taste, and I kind of didn't want to bother going. I've never really bothered using it again, even though I actually prefer forums to things like Discord, basically. So if we put in that, I could do the maths on it. Oh, close enough. I see. It's grabbed your message because it says about shill. How dare you shill? I know I say it was, looking back on it, it's sort of funny in a way, but yeah, it was I was just like, well, if I'm just gonna mentioning and it was literally them, they'd asked for suggestions basically, like they do at the end of the Friday Facts, where it's like you know, put your thoughts in the forums. And so I put my thoughts in the forum and I got banned for it. And it's like, well, you know, it's a bit harsh, a bit draconian. So that would be quite a long way short. I think I hate this rate. I might just go. I know it's supposedly bugged, but I might just go back to using max rate calculator. So what's that telling me? That's telling me that it's 0.075 under, so I would need multiple more of these to do the business. Oh, I didn't really mean for it to make 12. So would 2 do it? Not really. But not far off. And these don't need to run at rate anyway, do they, if there's 2 of them? Because that's now making 0.15, and these are using 1.35? Wow. That's way off, isn't it? But yeah, that's to satisfy the 2. I mean, I don't think I'm fussed about, because this is actually quite quick, isn't it? No, it isn't. Nowhere near quick. So hang on. So this one, to make 0.025 a second, would require 1.1, 0.1, and 0.1. And that's not making 0.1, is it? So it wouldn't even be running at rate. Christ. So I don't want this to be a mega build, basically. I'm not sure I've got a lot of choice. So how far off of rate is that? That's... So it's 3/4. Because each one requires 100. And this is saying... Because it's doing it per second, it's quite confusing. So... per minute. 1.5 a minute. So, what does that mean? That means... Calculator. Calculator, there we go. So if we need 100... It would take 66, so it would take an hour to make everything. Now, it's going to get some more because the cargo... You know, maybe there's a cargo rocket that's, you know... Certainly arriving here, there's going to be bits of cargo. And maybe that at some point there will be another one, but... Because it's a bonkers amount goes in each rocket silo. There's probably more going in there. So I'm collecting... Well, maybe not the vulcanite stuff, but... There is, you know, you're talking about needing like a rocket every... More than every hour. And a rocket holds... I'm never going to fill this rocket in an hour. Unless my production is insane. So I don't think it matters. I guess the unbelievable incorrect moderator was then banned by the devs for Friday's Fact Speculator. Time travel is probably required for this, but who knows? I think there would need to be quite a bit of time travel involved, because you're literally talking... Well, how long ago did the game release? It was 6 years now, is it? 5 years? Something like that. As in going into version 1. Or 4 years? I mean, you know, it was years ago, you know, you're talking about, and obviously I wasn't doing them Friday Facts videos back then. I always used to watch Exterminator. I mean, still do. Still watch his vids, going through them. But yeah, I used to post on his things rather than... And they weren't really speculative then either, so it's very much a different thing. It's very interesting when you think about it. The Friday Facts... They would obviously tell us stuff and tell us about new mechanics and all of those things, but fundamentally, you know, they weren't really... You know, we had the game, we had the full game, and they did make changes, and, you know, more than I encountered, because I was not late to it, but I started playing when it came to Steam, basically. But yeah, you know, the point is that... excuse me. God, tired. yes, they weren't really speculative videos. You know, it wasn't really about speculating what was going to be in the final game, because we had the final game. I mean, we didn't, because they did make some major changes, but you know, it wasn't really that sort of flavour of thing. I mean, I could have still done them. You know, talking about the one I like, the most recent one, where it's more about technical stuff, and I just like to go off on one and you know, jabber on about a load of rubbish. But yeah, they wouldn't have been speculative as such. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I still only got 200 and I don't think I've hit 230 subscribers, but I'm getting like they sort of ramped up in popularity and stuff. Last couple, which has been quite nice. But I mean, I never really did them for that. I don't, you know, I just enjoy doing the speculation, and so you get people like yourself who, you know, pop into the live stream and chat about them. Then that's great. But no, I don't think the dev, you know, the mod didn't get banned or anything. It was just a bit of a misunderstanding. So what they should, I mean, I'll be honest, what they should have done is just, you know, asked me sort of thing and said, you know, sorry, this looks like you work for this company, you know, could you confirm or what have you? And I could have replied and explained. But instead they just insta-banned me, you know, so that was probably a bit over the top. But I used to moderate forums. I used to do that back when they were the thing. So I did sort of understand the, you know, especially a popular forum. You don't have a lot of time to sort of sit and think about decisions. You just make them and you sort of go through, really. So the basic point with this, I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to work out here. So we know we need heat shields, and in theory per minute we would need 81. We know it's not going to run at that. It's going to run at 3/4-ish, like best case, which we're probably not going to do either. But so we would need 3/4 80, which is what, 60 per minute, and we're making 9. And we're not making 9 because that would require a whole thing. Do you know what I mean? This is my problem with this mod, I think. Because we are nowhere near where that sort of scale of thing is really just like worth doing, or even sensible, or even worth thinking about. And yet I've got to do it. So then you end up with, you know, just one machine of each making each thing. And it takes like 3 hours to make a rocket, which I say was the problem I was having on RAN. In fact, did I delete all that stuff on RAN? I think I probably did. Was it RAN? Yeah. So yeah, I had to set up all this rubbish here. And I was literally hand feeding stuff in and hand making things and trying to compensate for it. As you can see there, that's got 3 of those. And it took ages, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. But equally, I don't want to build some gigantic factory just to make rocket parts. Just to be able to, you know, take myself off the planet. I guess I'm just going to have to then. So yeah, I think we just do one machine of each, and then it will just kind of sort itself out. And we'll have to assume any planet I go to, it takes more than, say, 3 hours, you know, of playtime. And that when I'm done, a rocket's ready. And maybe we recycle a few out of this and what have you, whatever's landed. And I can use cannons, basically, to fire the stuff around. Luckily, I'm not a moderator anywhere. If I don't want to be, I try to be a good one. But if I wanted to be, I just troll people for use. You might make a good mod on the Discord then, because they're a bit a bit trolly. It's funny how much you've built, and I like your outer wall, and you've basically only played on one planet. Yeah, I'm sort of. There's an element of. It's one of the difficulties of. How do I play? I mean, so one of the weird characteristics of how I play is that I'll kind of blast through the early mid-game and I'll just get it done. It's very much, right, we need this, let's, get it done, get it done, get it done. And so you end up with spaghetti and all that sort of stuff, and I have a great deal of fun. But I then get to a point where it's like the refactoring thing, where basically I've got a base, but it's horribly complicated to either kind of convert it into doing other things and like end game stuff. So I'll have blasted through it. It's why I did my blueprint series, because I realised this was a problem. And basically, I'll sort of blast through red, green, blue, military science and get to the point where you've got bots and everything's ready to go. And then I'll sort of be like, right, well, now I need to make purple, gold and, launch a rocket. That requires a whole load of, extra stuff. And this base that I've built, that I've thrown together, isn't suitable for doing that. So I'll then completely rebuild my factory, sort of tear it apart and rebuild it. And that's what I did with the bots here, this make everything with the bots. That was me essentially restarting. And it's why it's taken so long, because this is a mod, so it's adding in things like multi-cylinder engines and big electric motors, and there's a lot more to it, heat shields and all of this stuff. And so, it's not really quick then. It's like I go on a weird curve where I do, I'm incredibly quick at the start and get to really far into the game, and then it just completely flatlines, and I'll do no real progress for ages. And I say it's just a weird reflection of how I play, basically. So yeah, you end up with this lovely wall, but this has probably taken like 30, 40 hours for me to put all of this together, and it's still not technically finished. So yeah, that's one of the problems with how I play. Yeah, I think it's just a case of having one machine of each, feed in what we can, and we're done, basically. I don't think there's like a lot of value in doing scaled builds, essentially. I think I will have separate machines, though. So I need sulfur for the heat shields. But then I also need sulfur for batteries, so we'll do that separately, something. Yeah, okay, let's do that then. Okay. So that's feeding some brick into tablets, and that's doing that. So then we also need steel, which we're leaching out somewhere else. So we can do maybe something like that, so that maybe it's coming down from somewhere. That is the heat shields there. Maybe if that was, say, there, and then we did just got to squeeze the glass in somewhere as well, haven't I? Because isn't, oh no, that I thought that was the petroleum in it, isn't it? It's oil. So I need to get petroleum down to here to feed that in. Maybe if I swap that round at some point. We also need water. So water there. So actually it's probably just better if it's there. And then I wonder if... Oh, it will finish. Okay. So which is the... That's petroleum there, isn't it? Cool. Except... Although that's a leaving one, isn't it? So really that should probably be there. So what did you think of the latest Friday Fact Sensor now? Have you had a chance to look at it? Oh. So maybe that's like... Yeah. That? Then that's not really lined up, is it? So it's a bit of a techie one this week. I think that could move down, couldn't it? So if that was does it need to be there? Okay. So if we put that down, and then a bit backwards, but whatever. So that's going to be doing the brick. That's doing the debris. So oh, that was daft. Okay, in fact, then so we put that there. Then we have that. Because we need to make the glass as well, I think, so it'd be convenient to have, say, stone brick on one side. And then, will that go maybe there? So you then got the glass could maybe be coming this way. Oops, this way. Excuse me. So that would be the glass side of things. And then you have the sand there. And then both of these can be fed stone. So you think stone brick there. Tablets there. That's giving it that. So this does need steel. Okay. I like the last one. It was very interesting hearing the explanations as to why I keep seeing 600 build orders lacking materials or bots and how it kept looping. Yeah, that was fascinating actually. I knew it was a thing where it was basically checking them constantly and then sort of, you know, working out, but I didn't know that detail. So it was quite fascinating from that point of view. I haven't played much multiplayer, but the fixes sounded nice. The optimization on checking jobs talked a lot about was also interesting, but I expected that they'd increase the check count per frame a lot, but it seems they kept it the same. And no, I think he said, well, there's some bits that weren't really... This is one of the problems that I have with some of the Friday packs. They sort of skip important details. Like when he said, you know, it went from whatever it was, N, so in that case of that example it was 36,000 or something. So it's checking every single robot port. And then it went to the 900, which was the number of squares, basically. And then he was like, and then, you know, then it went to N log N. And it's like, where did he get that from? You know, why did it change to that? And apparently they do a binary search, which basically means that they can essentially exclude half of the robot ports all at once. And then, of course, so it basically filters down, you know, gets rid of half. It's that sort of, you know, of a search. And so basically, that's why it's a massive speed increase. And so, as you say, what he then didn't go on to say, which he should have done, was that they then use that. That they do then increase the number of times it does the searches, basically. So that's another. You know, it's not just that the thing is faster; it can do more of them because it's guaranteed to be faster, essentially. But yeah, it didn't say that. So apparently that was, you know, discussed on the Discord, but I say didn't say it. So how would you know? I say it's a bit of one of my little problems with the. Because they go into massive technical details on some of them, and you're like, you know, I really enjoy that. You know, I like that stuff. And then suddenly it will just skip, and it will just basically go, oh, and then we did, you know, the thing we needed to do, and it was done. And it was like, but Why you explain the other thing in massive detail, and then just not explain that at all? But yeah. Okay, so we do now have sulfur here. Could we stick batteries in here somehow? Because we would need to make the acid, you see. We've got the water. So if that was more like that, then if we could get iron plate in, which we don't need for that, but we could stick it on the same belt, maybe. Given that that's apparently quite slow. So if this was a mixed belt, then it could go that way. You know, in the far future. And then we have the acid coming out there. And then, because we do also, you know, to do batteries, of course, we need iron plate as well as copper. And that could be there. Yeah, this could be batteries. Didn't something else need... Yeah, that needs batteries as well. So maybe, mayhaps, possible. Do either of these need copper? Yeah, you need copper. Okay. And you need iron plate. Okay. So, what does that mean? Because that's the only one that needs batteries. So, if this is batteries here, and then it can kind of... I'm just wondering, maybe it's a little bit more... maybe I should move this over instead, actually. No particular reason for that to be there. I got a feeling there is not a whole lot of room left for speculation about Space Age, but I don't know why. Sure, now we know some about Gleba and the spoilable fruits, but there must be a lot more on each planet and also on Aquila and or space. Indeed, yeah, I mean, I can't believe that the only thing on Volcanus is the foundry and the, you know, big mining drill. You know, I could understand those being the only buildings. You know, fine. I'm not saying there should be a million buildings everywhere. But if literally the point is to go there and get two things that help you produce more, that's a bit pointless. So, you know, there's obviously the science pack. You know, that's the absolute obvious thing, you know, that is going to be there and a thing we need to build. You know, that's not a surprise. But what else are we doing there? Because we know that only a small number of things are actually confirmed as being moved. So, what was it? What's been moved? Like cliff explosives, Spidertron, that sort of thing. So what else is there? You know, because I honestly can't believe that we're going to go all that way. We're going to get to that planet, and all we do, because both the foundry and the big mining drill, as I understand it, are unlocked by, you know, they have the new mechanic with the science, where, you know, if you want to lock resource collection behind a particular thing, or the early research, or a research can be locked behind doing an action. So putting down your first oil pump is how you unlock the oil, the rest of the oil research tree now. It's not about spamming through red and green science before you've even seen an oil well. You've got to find an oil patch. You've got to exploit that oil patch. And so I'm putting all the inserters the wrong way around. They said that Volcanus, the mining drill and the foundry are the same. That you mine up a bit of tungsten, and that's how you learn how to do the foundry. So there's the science pack, and there's making tungsten and tungsten, whatever it is, carbide and what have you. But tungsten carbide isn't used. I think it is actually in the foundry. I think it's used in the foundry and the drill. But it can't just be that. It can't just be that you go there, you get a great, a new machine, and off you pop again. There's got to be more to it than that. Because otherwise it's just spreading. And if you look at, the tech tree, that was kind of the point I was trying to make. I'm not sure I really made it very well, but that's kind of the point I was trying to make with the whole number of technologies, basically. Because if you look at the maths and you sort of say, right, well, what they must be doing... Okay, it's not them that needs it. Is it both of these? You don't need it. What else needs batteries then? Well, I thought both of these needed... Oh, they do. That one needs batteries. Okay, so we can put that closer. But yeah, so it's like, well... but it doesn't need copper. That needs copper. Okay. So if you've got iron coming in there... and you need iron. Okay. So that needs iron, as well as batteries. And that needs copper, as well as steel. Okay. Yeah, there's got to be a whole load of stuff that we're doing, As I was saying in the Gleba video, and I say this was my real point. What is the point of going to Gleba? So we know we get the grabby arm thing. The grabby arm thing only works on fruit. The only fruit we know about is on Gleba, so it's stuck on Gleba. Because maybe they'll let us grow fruit elsewhere, but probably not. Otherwise, it becomes this whole: what's the point in having a factory on Gleba if you can just make fruit on Nalvis? So that building's locked there, which is fine because obviously we think the lightning rod is locked there as well. It's locked to it's locked to Falgora. And then you've got this whatever it's called, bio chamber or what have you, which, as far as we know, makes science packs. Okay, but they'll be a recipe locked to Gleba. Okay, so there's no point bringing it off of Gleba to make science packs. Or plastic. Well, plastic, because we don't know it has a massive productivity bonus or anything like that, and people have looked at the video and they don't think it does. It's also a 3x3, so it probably doesn't have massive number of extra modules, compared to an assembly machine. So it's just a different way of making plastic. It's not a better way of making plastic, because plastic is infinite, and Falgora has the oil sands, so just has infinite oil. Nalvis has infinite oil patches. Volcanus, I guess it's limited there, but apparently the coal patches, from what they said, were enormous. So you can just use coal liquefaction and use that to make plastic. Also, I think you recycle out of Falgora. One of the things is plastic. So what is the benefit of this planet? You've got this horrible mechanic of spoilage. And what else? What else are we doing there? Why am I going to Gleba as my first planet? There's got to be something awesome there that gives me a reason to go there. Why am I putting that in there? So yeah, so that's what I was expecting, either like like enemies. I was expecting enemies, to be honest with you, this week. That's what I thought we might find out about, because we've had the Gribbly alien, with the brain, and we've seen him. We don't know what he does. We don't well, we haven't even seen him. We've seen a concept art for him. We've been told that there's something that lurks in Volcanus, and we've been told there's something that stomps on Gleba. That's it. We know nothing else about any enemies. We saw a space platform with some dead biters on it. What the heck is that about? Do you know what I mean? There's so much left that we don't know about. But they seem to be determined to kind of, I don't know, defy expectations. Because it's like, you know, they did Gleba, and they basically said, well, we've got to show you this now because we've got to talk about other things. And then 2 weeks later, we're getting one that's about multiplayer, bot optimization, and a bug fix. So why couldn't they do that one 2 weeks ago? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit sort of, I don't know. I mean, it comes back a bit to this thing that I wonder if maybe it's a little bit behind in terms of art, of where it needs to be. And that what they wanted to show us was like the reason to go to Gleba, or this big stompy alien, or what have you. The art's not ready, basically. So they couldn't. So yeah, so that's the type of thing. I'm going to say, like military, I would love to have done a military video and talked about that, but I just don't have the time, and I suspect it'll come in the next couple of weeks, and kind of, you know, steal my thunder on that, basically. So a little bit of a shame, but yeah, the site spec is probably the primary advantage, and they've also mentioned how they haven't revealed those texts yet. Again, considering we are the devs, I expect nothing less than greatness, and I suspect I'll be pleasantly surprised. Oh yeah, so I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm just I'm just sort of a bit sort of puzzled sometimes as to, you know. So it's almost like the Friday Facts where they skip out a load of detail and just say, and then we finished it. And it's like, okay, so how did you actually do that? It's the same sort of thing, really, of, you know. I suppose part of the problem of it is they are still developing it. You know, they are still building it. So it's like going back to the, you know, what I was saying about the old Friday Facts, where they were more about, here's some technical detail of a thing we've done, or this is, you know, the overall plan. They would actually tell us what they were going to put in a lot of the time. So, you know, putting in uranium and stuff wasn't quite the surprise, because, you know, they talked about those sorts of things before. I mean, uranium actually did come as a surprise, but Spidertron had been mentioned ages ago, and it was just that they went really quiet about it, and then it was in the final version. So, you know, there are a lot of differences with how the current Friday Facts has to work, because that doesn't need slots, that needs slots. Okay. Yeah, it's just a different circumstance in that, you know, they didn't want to spoil any of the ideas or let modders, you know, give modders the opportunity to build it before them, sort of thing. So yeah, so I sort of get it, but it does mean you get this weird situation where they're basically like, you know, if they plan to reveal a thing and then they can't reveal a thing, it feels like you're sort of being, they don't know what they're, I don't know how to express it. It's like you've got a marketing plan, basically, of saying, right, well, these are the beats we will hit at these different points. And then they're having to improvise when they get to that point and the thing's not quite ready. But the way they're presenting it is a bit sort of like, well, you know, we've done it. You know, we've got all the ideas, you know, we're done. But they're not done. They're still developing it. Does that make sense? It's sort of like, sometimes it's a bit strange what we get when, you know, when they're implying that maybe we should get a different thing. And I say it does feel a bit like they sort of maybe change their mind at the last minute or go for it. I'm sounding really, really critical. It's not something I'm bothered about. It's just fascinating, I think, is the thing. I've lost track of what I'm building. I'm also getting really, really distracted by all the flashing. So let's put in, why is that inserter over there? But yeah, so it's not meant to be, I'm not criticising it or anything like that. It's just I just find it fascinating, really. It's like, because marketing is like actually a huge part of, you know, game development, basically. Because there's always a thing with games that you have to strike a balance between, like, you know, realism and all these, you know, and what you can actually accomplish in particular. And this is going back to, you know, when I started playing games, they were, you know, really primitive. You know, graphics were just literally, you know, this is pixel art as it's presented here. I mean, it's obviously developed in 3D Engine, but literally, you know, sprites would be like 16 by 16, and that was it. You know, there was, you know, that many, you know, characters in the actual complete image of a thing. And so what they would do is they would use box art and magazine art and, you know, adverts and present like the concept of the game. So it wouldn't necessarily be actually, that's mismatched now, isn't it? You know, the game you knew was not going to look like that because it couldn't look like that because they just didn't have the ability to make graphics that good. So you just accepted that what they were showing you on the box art was like a concept of what you were meant to be. So, you know, you should see some big, you know, hero or something doing some amazing action, and then the actual art was just like 10 pixel sprites, you know, moving around, and it's like I have to imagine that that's what's going on, and so that's kind of what there's still a thing of that in a lot of game marketing of. They, you know, even now when graphics are kind of amazing, there's still bits and there's like things they can't do. There's a lot of, you know, it's not like real people interacting with a real world, you know. So they still have to, you still have to fill in the gaps with marketing, yeah, even now. And I say I therefore find that fascinating as well, even though it's nothing to do with writing code, you know. I've gone off on a real weird one there. Ah, hello, Daniel. Plans, what are those? Indeed, there's no point in having a plan because the plan always gets broken. But yeah, so that wasn't, you know, it wasn't meant to be a critical rant or anything. It's just another topic I found fascinating, basically. I've really lost the plot with this. I've been thinking of the procedural music thing, but I think I'd need to play for quite some hours with it on in the background to really judge how good it is. It's hard to listen to it in the same way as when I play the game. I did like the samples so far. Yeah, I mean, I said that's another thing. I'm really interested to see how it works out. And speak of the devil, and there he is. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things. It's like you don't judge them in the same way when you're specifically focusing on them. And I say it will be interesting to see how stuff like that actually operates and works, and how good it is, type of thing. And hello, I suppose you're not here to tell us anything about these mysterious numbers. Ooh, that was weird. So I heard that time, but it sounded like it came through my speakers. But thank you for the follow, Martinson. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the follow. I wonder what I've done with the settings now. I thought I fixed it. So if I hit advanced audio, that's on monitor, so that should be okay. So why has that come through? If I edit settings, sorry, I just need to work out while this is in my head. So audio, what's it got as the monitor then? No, it's set to the headphones. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. I heard it that anyway. That's an improvement. And hello, Daniel. I hope you're doing well. So you've come along to tell us what all these mysterious binary numbers are you? So, I think... Yeah, so we got the them coming in. We've also built that, in a theory. We've built one of them. We've got... What else does this need? Glass and steel and plastic. That's annoying, isn't it? So this would need to be copper and something else, wouldn't it? Well, that needs glass, and that needs glass, and they both need copper. That doesn't need copper, but we could have glass on this. So this could be copper and glass. We've obviously got a glass maker there. If I put in, can I make a little bit of sand? Kind of stick that in. Okay, so what's the maths on it? Can I support another? Yes, easily. So we could have another one of them, maybe poking out the bottom or something. So not robbing Peter to pay Paul too much. I almost forgot about the binary numbers. Maybe they're missing about with us, and I was hoping for some amusing numerology theories. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, it's probably means absolutely nothing, is it? I don't know either. As far as I know, the Friday Facts thumbnails just magically appear. Yeah. Oh, it could just be. I don't know. I mean, I presume somebody makes them all, do they? Or I don't know. I always sort of assumed it was because V's like the community manager, is he, or something? I can't remember. But yeah, I always assumed whoever coordinates the Friday Facts. I know that it's not one person that writes them, but I assumed whoever coordinates them is the one doing the actual thumbnails. So I mean, my sort of humorous take on it was maybe it was Arse Eating had sort of put it as a reminder for his birthday or something, you know. But I say I don't think it's not the same person doing it, is it? So I don't think that joke quite works. So what would I need to put on there? So I need, if the glass goes, in fact I could probably tighten it. No. No, there's no point. So you've then got copper. Because we're getting into the territory, it'd be quite nice to have this as like a self-contained square thing. Because then I could think of this area as maybe if I needed to put trains in or what have you, I could have room from there. Even though obviously the connections are on the side, but it'd be nice to fit this around a set of sort of 1x1 trains or something, or 1x1 trains. But as I say, I sort of got massively distracted. So they need steel. Does this need steel? No, it doesn't need steel. It doesn't need red circuits. There's a really weird set of ingredients to be trying to combine. Because I haven't got any red circuits. Oh, that needs glass as well then. Okay. So if we move that up, say, like that. So it could then have glass if glass is coming in there. And copper. So it gets it copper, glass. So we'd need green circuits and steel. And this needs steel as well. That doesn't need steel. Okay. So what did these have in common? So green circuits and steel. Getting glass and copper there. So plastic would be missing, as it were. This is quite annoying. I guess I could do some jiggery-pokery here. We could kind of... How would that work? I mean, technically, you see, I'm only putting that on one side. So what I could do is if we had made sure I had the steel. So flip these round, basically. So if that's the iron plate and that's the steel on the right, and the steel would come that way, and you would get steel, but then we can't get steel out for that one. So it feels like really I need a separate steel one going on now. Because both of those need steel. So it's got glass and that there. Problem I've got is that I've got 3 ingredients coming in. I need 3 ingredients with only sort of 2 axis points, basically. I haven't seen many alt texts since you mentioned them some weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. It was yeah, I said I've been hovering because I don't. It seemed to appear for one, just that one, and normally they do just an actual proper caption, because I think that's what the alt text were, is the caption. So I don't know if that was just intended, to just sort of, I don't know about hide, but because the names, I quite like the names. I don't know who comes up with the names on these things, but what was it? Boom Puffs and I can't remember what the others were, but there were some quite funny names, and maybe the idea was just to, hide that away in a sense. But I think usually it's Meatlands. Yeah, that was. I mean, what the heck is a Meatland? But yeah, maybe the idea was, it's sort of like, it's an Easter egg in a sense of, something that was kind of hidden, but not hidden. But yeah, it was a bit weird that suddenly appeared, basically, and then last couple they don't seem to have had them. So we got steel, we got glass, got copper, so it'd be green circuits. So I could chop that off then, you see, if we use the steel from here. I could put a purple there as well. And then we just need to get green circuits in, but that can then come in some other way. Because I need to get plastic. I mean, I could go super janky, because that steel doesn't. In fact, yeah, that works. And that then gets. Because this doesn't need steel, does it? No, it needs red circuits. So that would get me steel there. And in fact, I wouldn't even need that thing at all, would I? If this is a filter to steel, to give that to both of them. In fact, maybe I do still need it, because I need to get green circuits in here somehow. But then I could just bring it over, no problem. Yeah, just leave that there for now. So you still need green circuits. That allows me to feed in 1 iron copper. This has to be stone, I think, doesn't it? It was Albert having fun. Oh, right, okay. You mean for the alt text, or not giving them the names? I say I can't. So are those probably not? They're not probably not the official names, then, are they? Is that the idea, that they're just some concepty names? So yeah, I did quite like a boom puff. I did that. It's quite an evocative name. So that would be glass on that side, copper on that side. Because even if we do that, I still need to sort of bring them over somehow. Because they're not going into that bit, because that's oil. Okay, so that's okay. You still need plastic. Because you've got steel, you've got glass and copper now. You need plastic. And you need green circuits. Huh, okay. So maybe we have a plastic green circuits one coming in? Somehow and some way. And we could do something along the lines of maybe... So this could underground there, say. And then... it's a bit annoying that that would have to be there. Could I... In fact, if that was there, it was that one that undergrounded. And that could be straight, and that could be straight. There we go. So, if we can hook that up to there, then that'll sort us for building all of these, I think. Because we've got plastic, we've got glass, we've got steel, we've got copper, we've got green circuits, we've got glass, we've got steel, we've got copper. This doesn't have red circuits, does it? So that one needs red circuits. We now need to fit iron and copper in there. Okay. So, I guess at some point there might be something there that's got red circuits, and it's something else that needs red circuits, I think. So that's not a massive problem. One of these does, I think. Oh, they both do. Okay, that's fine then. And you need steel as well. Interesting. Do pumps need steel? They do. Okay. Got trying to find out. That's how they got. Yeah. Indeed. I'm quite looking forward, I must say, to having the Factoriopedia. That feels like a really useful resource, basically, of kind of, yeah, just being able to have a way of looking through everything, and not like I'm doing now, where it's like, well, I've got to use this calculator, and I've got to look at this, and I've got to look at that, look at this recipe, and look through here, and just having it all sort of combined together just feels like such a useful thing to have. Okay, so I think this is all sort of there in terms of I've identified everything that needs to come on, but because I'm just thinking in terms of the copper, I'm like adding that on, so that could be like a red circuits copper line, and because I'm just thinking if I can combine them as half lanes each, it's just a bit easier to, you know, siphon them off and send them down. Okay. So if we assume that those need connecting up, but everything is identified. So the bits we need to make now are these two. These are a bit mad because they need a bit of everything. I was going to bring in 2 of the ingredients, wasn't I? Am I making pumps? Would it not have been sensible if I'm not making pumps to be making pumps? Surely I must be making pumps. Because I'm bound to have done things with my builds where I've used pumps. Am I not making pumps in here? Feels like that might be a bit of an oversight, so we probably need to stick them in a chest anyway. Why have you put things in there, bots? What are you doing, you little mad bleeders? That should have a filter on it anyway. Oops. You shouldn't be putting random things in random... yeah, look at that. So this should have... in fact, this should have both. That and that, I believe. Oh dear. Looks like I've not set quite a few recipes. So I'm making water pumps, but I'm not making regular pumps. That's not very good, is it? Am I really not making... let's have a look. Get the old calculator. See if this lists pumps somewhere. No. No. Okay, so we need to do pumps, but with the mind to sticking them in a chest as well then. But we're bringing them in. Storage, obviously pipes are very easy to make. I think pumps use pipes. He says, not really remembering. Yeah. So I could double feed them in and then red circuits. Both need red circuits. So whatever line is bringing red circuits in, we can use that, can't we? Just remembered that I also like the spoilage because it adds a need for speedy space platforms. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was it's a good way to force you to do different platforms, isn't it? Because it was starting to fit. Well, I don't know about feel, but the sort of thing of once I've designed my space platform, that's it, sort of thing, you know, and I can just blueprint it and just build the same one over and over again. A bit like trains, you know, when you do a 1-4-1 train system or a 1-2-1 train system, and every train is that basically, or 1-1-1 or whatever. You know, there's no need, in a sense, to build. It's more efficient, as it were, to build everything, you know, around a particular design, rather than have different designs. So it's quite convenient, or quite good, you know, way to force you, I think, to, as you say, have. I mean, I'll probably give them like naval names. Like, I mean, what I was thinking, I don't know. It'd be nice if it did turn out that my idea with the whole asteroid belt and, you know, that you need to gather something in the asteroids does turn out to be good, because then you could have like space platforms that you could call destroyers that, you know, went out and destroyed asteroids. So you could end up with like destroyers, frigates, clippers, you know, all the different like proper naval ships. That'd be quite cool. So a clipper would be like a T clipper, which was the old, back when sail was still the predominant thing, and particularly for England, people ordered a lot of tea or drank a lot of tea, and of course it had to come from China or later India, and and it went off basically. So they invented the clipper, which was a super fast sail ship basically. It's got a famous one, Cutty Sark, that sits in a dry dock in London. But yeah, having a clipper, which was a super fast space platform, would be quite cool, I think. But yeah, then also like a tanker basically that just transports enormous amounts of material, but does so really slowly. It's going to be quite fun to play with it, I think. So I don't think there's going to be proper space combat. I don't know. Maybe there will be, but we don't know why those biters were on that thing. As I was saying didn't really want to say it because I say it's sort of a wacky idea, but those green, the ones that had something in the middle and then it was green around the outside, looked a bit like eggs to me, like alien eggs. So I sort of wondered if, rather than when they spoil, because they said on Discord, I don't think this is a secret or anything, that basically the way the code works, it sort of spawns in the replacement for the thing that's spoiled. So you could quite easily imagine that they've done it that way, because what happens is when these eggs go off, and this is getting into wacky predictions again, but when these eggs go off, when they spoil, they don't turn into a spoilage, they turn into a biter, and suddenly you've got a platform that, you know, it got stuck maybe, it ran out of fuel, and it sat there for 2 hours, and then suddenly these eggs turn into biters, and suddenly you've got biters on your actual platform, and they just chew their way through the platform. That was my sort of wacky idea, basically, on that. I really like the idea of an asteroid field or some general space mining aspect, but it's tough thinking about some cool ideas because they are also potential disappointments when they are not real. I suppose so, yeah. I just enjoy the speculation. That's why I do those videos in the way I do, really. Just like enjoy coming up with the wacky ideas. If it's not in, then it doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, I can understand that being a little bit sort of frustrating, really. So, if we're making, because pumps are blooming blue motors, aren't they? Electric motors, in other words. Yeah. And those require copper, so we do have copper over here. Copper cable. It's almost like an actual motor, though. Copper cable wrapped around a stator. Okay. Fast inserters we need to bring in. Iron chests and steel. Okay. So. I'm just wondering to what extent I can use this space. Because we know we've got red circuits there. Just think about this in terms of, so if we had, you know, copper coming in, where would I want these to be coming? I guess they would come off kind of, you know, here, out of this. And what we're going to need, need to move that over. Oh. I need to know, so we need stone just on its own, probably. It's fine. Why did I not copy and paste them? So we want the stone one coming in. We want a combined iron steel one. We want, well, it would just be copper on its own, wouldn't it? At the moment, anyway. And then what else? We've got green and plastic. Green and plastic land. Got fluids coming. Irony, coppery one. Green and plastic. Cool. So that's what we would need coming in. So if I imagine, say, that they're sort of coming across here like this. We also need a red circuit. Now, do I make it so that this is a combined green and red circuits? That copper and red circuits. How would that work? It wouldn't really. That would be a pain in the bum to work with. Okay, let's not do that then. So, if this was separate red circuits, because this one, these one, I need iron, everything else is coming in, you see. So, we could put that one. Did it need plastic? I've forgotten. So, red circuits we need to bring over, but then iron chest, that's right. And where are we getting iron for? Well, No, that doesn't work, does it? Because that would need to be on that side. That's annoying. I thought iron was coming up the middle. No, it's there. Yeah, so that's the only iron I've got coming in at the moment. Okay. Because we need to make iron chests. And they are literally just iron plate. Because we then need red circuits. Steel is accessible there. I put that on there. So really, I think I need a kind of iron plate steel one, because that could just happen on. Well, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Because that would ideally then be on that side. Okay, let's maybe move it down a bit. It'd be cool if new enemies meant something other than simply a wall with turrets to entice the whole base. Encircle the whole base or all outposts. Yeah, I'm holding out that there is, that's, you know, Stompy is not just you know, like a metaphorical Stompy, that it's actually a boss enemy or something like that. I think that'd be really cool, something really different. And I say, it's just interesting to me that, you know, you've got fruit, and obviously animals eat fruit, and so it just seems, you know, kind of a interesting option that maybe, because if we made this, as I say, a sort of red circuit and iron plate, you know, maybe it could want to eat the fruit, basically, and that's what it's coming for. And it also gives a little bit of a different motivation, I guess. That's a weird thing to say. I mean, you know, why would you need to think about motivation for biters? But it's just a different thing to manage, isn't it? Of like, rather than maybe, you know, rather than protect against pollution, you have to protect against, you know, you have to basically protect your plantations, like they're at risk from, you know, getting eaten, basically, rather than, I don't know, rather than like getting confused, because that's the iron chest, isn't it? So actually I could do, you know, so you don't have to worry about pollution on Gleba, maybe, although being an organic planet you'd think it'd be the biggest concern, maybe, so that's you know, probably a non-starter of a way of thinking about it. But yeah, to have to worry about you know, protecting your things like they're like it's a reservation or something, you know, like it's you know, in sort of Africa or something, it's a protected area, and you want to protect your fruit. But you know, you're not bothered about, you know, pollution as such. Although I say, well, maybe the fruit itself gets spoiled by pollution or something like that. But it just struck me as being a sort of a funny way of doing a similar sort of thing, really. So if this then is the iron, if that's the irony red circuits or something there, and that kind of sorts us. So this needed to be iron and red circuits, didn't it? So, and again, I'm not actually expecting I sometimes wonder if people think it's just, you know, funny things to think about in a sense, I guess. I'm not actually expecting any of this stuff to happen or be in the game. It's just I just find it fun to, you know, come up with these daft ideas, really. So that was the steel now. So what we would need is a fast, because what I'm also ordering the tanks in, you see. So we can have this be the tanks and the inserters. And then this could be this one. Because then I can also maybe just squeak that down there. Might be able to punt all of this over a little bit, maybe. Because it is going to need access to belts, I guess. But I need pipes are iron plate as well, aren't they? I'm wondering if maybe I can get the pump build in there somehow. Could be instead, but maybe this is like here somehow? Or sort of there maybe, or something like that? It's just I'm wasting quite a lot of real estate there. Leave it there for now. So if this was what would it need to be? If this is going to be pumps, can't see pumps for trees. Needs iron pipes. But it needs iron pipes anyway. Okay. We need to rethink the arrangement of that then. Maybe you sacrifice some of your freshest fruit to keep him happy, or curse your factory with a 3 times spoiler. Maybe, yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, it sort of it emits some sort of horrible noxious gas, and you know, you end up with, as you say, horrible spoilage if you let him hang around or something like that. And that would then affect your entire factory. You know, it wouldn't just be that. You know, it. You know, it just eats the fruit. It then, you know, maybe eats all of the, well, you know, damages, as it were, all of your stuff, all of your things that can spoil, not just your, you know, not just taking out your fruit, as it were. So if that's the inserters coming in, because you need pipe on your own. But you also need to put it into a pump. Okay. Really very inconvenient of you. Okay. So maybe that's the pipe. I just think because that is right there, isn't there? The iron's right there. It's right there. Although that can't reach red circuits, can it? Okay. Because if that then is the pump, that pipe rather, that then is pump, pipey pumpy pumpy pipe, like that. I mean, we've got steel here technically. Okay. And I've just cut that off, haven't I? Like oh, no, I haven't, because it's doing it at the end, so I can still do that. Then you go around there. So that gets it those. And that then has red circuits from there. The tanks, the pipe, yeah, so it's got all of it, but this doesn't have electric motors, which require iron, copper, cable, and iron plate. Crikey. Maybe I just do something where perhaps maybe, because that doesn't need. What do you need? Oh, it does need iron plate. Okay. So if that one's there, we do leap over. Where was the copper? The copper's right up there. Okay. By having these mad belts, I think I'm causing more problems than I'm solving. I'm just trying to keep track of what's on where. I'm basically failing. So that would actually be one up, wouldn't it? Oh, now I've lost what that's meant to be anyway. Was that the plastic and... yeah, it was, wasn't it? So that was there like that. Oh my god, it's 6:30. Wow, okay. I gotta go. Crikey. 6:30. I got carried away again. It's the curse and the wonder of this game. Yeah, carried away and lose track of time. Yes, so I will probably finish this off tonight, maybe. The thing I was going to kind of point out is that I've got to work tomorrow. So I may need to not stream, basically. So if I put my schedule up, what I would normally do is, well, my normal schedule is Saturday and Sunday. I can't believe it's 6:30. How did that happen? My normal schedule is Saturday and Sunday at 3 o'clock for 3 hours. And obviously it was my intention to do that, but work has, as I mentioned, been a bit mad this week, and there is bits and pieces that I need to do. I don't/can't work in the evening, unfortunately, tomorrow. So that kind of leaves just the afternoon, because it's Father's Day in the UK. I don't know if that's a... For some reason, Mother's Day is different. I think Father's Day is all the same, because I think that's a bit of an invented one. But I need to call my dad, basically, obviously. And I can do that in the morning, and then I got work to do, and I've got a commitment in the evening. So we have the slight difficulty that I may not be able to stream tomorrow. That was an extremely convoluted way of saying that, wasn't it? And then that's kind of me. Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry, I didn't see those last comments in. So I would like another good use of efficiency modules. I don't think I ever used them in my previous place. Yeah, it's another. It's a bit like bots, where bots seem to get in a back of the, in the engine, as it were, improvements. But there's no hint of a level 2 bot or a super bot or a combined logistics, construction robot or anything like that. So yeah, I think some things are just going, they're as they are, and it would be nice to have a proper reason to use efficiency, because I know people put them in miners and stuff like that, but solar power's free. I never really saw the point. SpaceX must have taken so much development time. With an iron chest requires 4 ingredients. I know it's hardcore stuff. Yeah. Yes. So as I say, hopefully I will stream to it. It kind of depends. Say I'll sort of start after I've talking to my dad, and I'll have lunch and obviously all that sort of stuff. But it kind of depends how far I get, and so I may stream late. I may not stream at all, or things may be all okay, and I can stream at the usual time. So that's just what I wanted to say. I will, however, be back as per normal next week. In fact, I will probably have some leave because, as I say, I've had to do a lot of overtime, so I'll get that back as compensation, which might mean I might stick in, especially if I have to miss tomorrow's stream, I might, stick in an extra one to compensate. But then I always say that, and then I always just sit around watching YouTube instead. So, can't guarantee that. But yes, that's all I really wanted to say. I say the usual schedule is up there. I didn't promote it last week, but I have a YouTube channel if you are new here and you quite enjoy the speculation that I've been doing in this stream. Every Friday, obviously, there's the Friday Facts from Factorio, and I do a sort of read through and analysis, but I also do a lot of speculation in them, and they're a huge amount of fun to do. I really enjoy doing it, and people seem to be enjoying it as well. So if that was anything you might be of interest to, and say you're not encountered my stuff before, then you can find my YouTube channel at the link listed there, and you'll find an entire playlist of those since they started the Space Age expansion. Is that everything? So it's giving this, well, don't know about stream tomorrow, but full on okay for next week. And promo on YouTube. Yeah, that's everything, I think. So, if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.